Hi, Thomas Enqvist here. Welcome to BetSafe, and today we're looking forward to Barcelona Open.
Yes, we will do that, Thomas. But before that, I think we will look back, say a few words about Monte Carlo Rolex Masters, where we saw a lot of big upsets in the early rounds.
Yes, you're right, Jonas, and it was interesting. We actually spoke about it last time here on BetSafe that it's pretty common that you see the big names struggling a little bit in the beginning of the clay court season. It's a totally different surface. It's a totally different way of move on this surface. And we see it year after year. The big names sometimes have a little bit difficulties to find the rhythm on the clay in the first couple of tournaments. And definitely this case in Monaco, where both Djokovic and Murray and Wawrinka, they lost pretty early. So even if it's always surprisingly when the big names lose early, it's still understandable. I think that it takes some time for them to get used to clay. But we also have one guy we spoke about a lot before the event, Rafael Nadal. I mean, what a start of the year, and now he's back on his really favorite surface. I mean, he has the clay court DNA in him. He's the best clay court player ever played the game, I would say. And what a start of the clay court season for him. Yesterday he just again he won his semi-final against Goffin 6-3, 6-1. He's in his 10th final of Monaco. He's already won this tournament 9 times. Unbelievable, impressive Rafael Nadal.
More surprising is Alberto Ramos Vinolas in the final. It's his biggest final in his career. He has one title under his belt in Skistar Swedish Open last year. Can he do anything against Nadal?
Well, it's a good question, but what an impressive week he had, and like you said, definitely his big results of his career is he plays a little bit similar. It's a left-handed. He feels very good on the clay, but difficult for me to see what he can do against Rafael Nadal, especially in the form Rafael Nadal is in. He don't have really the weapons to hurt Nadal with, so I would have a difficult time to picture how the match should look to be able to go in Ramos Vinola's favor. So I would say that the big favorite in that final is Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have the focus on Barcelona Open, where both Nadal and Ramos Vinolas are playing. And there are 4 top 10 players in the field. It's Nadal, it's Nishikori, it's TM, and it's Andy Murray, world number 1, who took a wild card. And there is 4 more players among the top 20. Are you surprised that Murray plays Barcelona?
Not really, I have to say. I mean, I understand. I mean, he's obviously didn't get the start of the season that he wanted. I think he's pretty eager on to get back into match fitness. I think he wants to get as much matches as possible. Like I believe strongly that that's the reason why he took this wild card. I think he'd like to find his rhythm, not only on the clay, but also like he like to get a win. I guess he wants to get this title. He wants to get back into the rhythm of winning like he did the kind of the whole year last year. So I think that. Pretty understandable actually that he asked for the wild card, but like you said, Jonas, what a strong tournament. I mean, Barcelona is one of those really classic clay court tournaments. Year after year they have the best players in the world playing there, and this is definitely not different this year. Very strong tournament, and a lot of tough matches even from the beginning of the week.
And in Monte Carlo we saw 6 high-class matches already in the 3rd round, and we can see some big matches in the 3rd round also in Barcelona.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you take a look at the draw here, I mean, you can have Ramos Vinola against Bautista Agut already in the 3rd round. You can have Ferrer against Nadal in the 3rd round. You can have Goffin Cuevas in the 3rd round. I mean, unbelievable strong field and good matches early rounds. So it's going to be very interesting to follow.
And Ramos Vinola, he can play Murray in the 3rd round, and it was not maybe that big shock that he won over Murray when Murray played his 2nd clay court match of the year. But Murray had 4 love in the 3rd set. Can you explain how he can lose?
Well, no, not really actually, but not too often you see Andy Murray when he actually gets in demand of the match that he let the opponent back into it like he did there, leading 4-love. I mean, it was kind of, you felt like it was over, but it comes back to what we spoke about before, Jonas. I think that he's not used to not playing a lot of matches. I think this comes back to match fitness. I think that when he start to win again and his confidence is getting back and he gets into this rhythm again of winning and winning, I think a match like that would never really slide out of his hands. I think this is typical of a player that is just not in the rhythm yet. I mean, he's as good as he was last year, no problem. He just got a little unfortunate start of the season with some injuries and he's kind of lacking matches, and I think that's the reason why he took a wild card here in Barcelona, and I think that he's very eager on getting back to that winning streak again.
Except for Federer and Nishikori, all the top 10 players played in Monte Carlo, and when it comes to Federer, we don't know if we'll play French Open, but Nishikori will be back in Barcelona, and he starts the spring clay court season the same way as he did the last 3 years, when he had 2 wins and 1 final in Barcelona. So it's a pretty good schedule for him.
Yeah, it has worked in the past, as you said. I think that Nishikori also, the way he moves, he's a very good mover. For him to adapt to the clay, I don't think it's difficult. I think the surface and the conditions in Barcelona suits him really well, and also like to get back to a tournament where you played good before is always helps. He has great memory there. It brings him confidence just to get back to somewhere where he has already won 2 times. So I think that definitely he would be one of the contenders for the title.
Yeah. Before Monte Carlo, we talked a lot, some about Dominic Thiem and Roberto Bautista Agut. And I don't say they were disappointment in Monte Carlo, but they didn't have as good results as we expected, especially not Bautista Agut, who lost to Schwartzman. When it comes to Thiem, he won the first 500 tournament on clay this year, but that was in Rio in February. What do you think of those 2 guys?
Yeah, if we start with Thiem, I think that he actually, he's really a great clay court player, and I think that for every tournament we will look forward to and to speak about, definitely he would always be one of the names we will mention. For me, that he can win any clay court tournament, I think he's ready to do that. He showed that in the past, and Barcelona is another tournament where I think he can really do well. It's a perfect conditions for him, where it's a little bit heavier and he can really hit through hard on the ball. I think he actually played pretty well in Monaco. He lost a tough match against Goffin, who played unbelievable in Monte Carlo. So I think that Thiem is definitely one of the favorites of the tournament. Bautista Agut is a very interesting name you bring up there, Jonas, because definitely if we're going to speak about somebody with a dark horse for the tournament, he's one of them. I mean, he's a good clay court player, but the conditions in Barcelona is perfect for him. He hits the ball a little bit flatter, a little bit harder. He has played well in Barcelona before. He had a tough match against Nishikori. I remember the year Nishikori won. So he will definitely be interesting to follow this week.
Thomas, you played twice in Barcelona Open, semi-final 2001, lost to Carlos Moya. You don't have to tell us about that tournament, but tell us about the circumstances in the tournament.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tournament actually. It's a beautiful club. It's one of those classic clay court tournaments where every year has a very strong field. Very prestigious tournament, and the conditions, I would say, is pretty heavy. Very, very nice court. They are in great shape. They work really hard on to prepare them before the tournament. They're in really good shape, but they're pretty heavy. The balls usually are pretty heavy as well, so pretty similar conditions to Monte Carlo, I would say. But again, it's a very, very nice tournament.
And if we didn't say that, it's the 65th edition of the tournament, and it's played in the oldest club in Spain, I think. Thomas, let's end with your picks for the favorite. I don't think we need to mention the favorite, but Nadal's worst contenders. And do you see any players that can make big upsets?
Yeah, of course. With this field, I think that even if Rafael Nadal definitely is the number one favorite to win his maybe potentially 10th title in this event, we still have the number one player in the world, Andy Murray, who's looking for form. Is going to be very, very eager to get back and playing well. You have a very strong clay court player in Thiem. You have Nishikori, who won the title 2 times before. And dark horse, we already said, Bautista Agut maybe. Goffin also, who played really well in Monte Carlo, who lost in semi-final to Rafael Nadal there. So very, very strong field. It's going to be interesting to follow this event.
Ramos Vinola is in his biggest final in his career. Do you think he can ever have a reaction in Barcelona?
I think so. You never know that, of course. It depends a little bit how he physically can recover. But, I mean, obviously he's going to come in there with a lot of confidence. I mean, that's his best result of his career. But also, I mean, it depends on the fatigue, if he can recover both physically and mentally. He has a tough draw. So I would not be surprised maybe if maybe he would lose a little bit earlier in Barcelona. But again, I mean, of course, you see that a lot of times. They get a good start of the clay court season and a lot of confidence, and things are rolling on, you know. So it's going to be fun to see if he can keep up this form and if he can have another good week.
Yeah. Thomas, should we say a few words about Novak Djokovic? He's not playing in Barcelona, but he played in Monte Carlo. He lost to Goffin in a fantastic match. I think it was the best match so far in the tournament. And he seemed to be more focused than we have seen him in the earlier month of the year. Do you agree, and do you think we can expect great things from him during the rest of the clay court season and the rest of the season?
Yes, I really think so. I agree with you. I think it was a fantastic match against Goffin. He was up break in the third, I think, and he playing really well. I mean, it's no doubt about his ability, and I mean, with everything he has won, and he's such an all-round player. We know how good he is on clay. I also agree with you what you say, that he looked very focused, and I think the same position a little bit like Andy Murray, obviously haven't started the season the way he wanted to or the way he's used to start the season. So he's also very eager, I think, to get back on the winning end and to get into this flow with winning a lot of matches in a row when things go a little bit of itself, a little bit of autopilot like he has the last few seasons where he's kind of never lost. So it's going to be interesting to see. I was kind of maybe thinking that he also would have maybe asked for a wild card in Barcelona, but at the same time, it's no panic. You know, he knows his ability. It's a lot of tournaments left coming up here before the Roland Garros he can play. I mean, he probably felt also, I think, that he played really well and that he's pretty happy with the way he hits the ball. So it's no use for any stress or any panic decisions from his side, I would say.
Okay, thank you. That's all from Thomas Enqvist and me, Jonas Arnesen. But we are back before Madrid Open, the second master tournament on clay this year, and then the top women are back because they are playing their premier mandatory tournament in Madrid Open. See you then. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much to listen to us here on BetSafe, and we see you very soon again.